Right, I'd like to cover some tricks of the property trade. These are things you learn as you go along. When you become a property developer, you quickly learn that everyone involved in the game has a range of tricks, a range of angles if you like, to protect themselves and their potential to maximise what they earn. I'll run you through a few key tricks that each of the different types of people use, and you need to be on guard for them because these are the most common ones, but there are lots of others. So if you understand people's mentality and what they're thinking, then you can make sure that you don't get caught out and it doesn't cost you money. So firstly, estate agents. What I love with estate agents is that they are governed theoretically by rules, but they tend to be a law unto themselves. Phantom bidders are one of the ones I come up against quite frequently. Agents use it to try and bid up the price and therefore bid up their commission. This is illegal, but they still do it. So make your position known as a developer as soon as you can, and say you'll give them resales but you want no funny business. I think most of them will take a hint and they'll work with you. Surveyors and valuers. Being asked by the buyer to find issues with a property when it's being surveyed, e.g. roof issues, cracking, something like that, which makes it look like there are quite serious problems with what you're selling. And what the surveyor or the valuer helps the buyer do then is knock the price down. It's called chipping the price down. So what you need to do when you sell a property, when it's under offer, is turn around and say to the buyer, right, you've got 2 weeks to get your survey done and 4 weeks to exchange. There's no funny business and no chipping. If you try it on at all, I'll withdraw the contract from you and I'll put it back on the market. One of my favourites, and I've been toe to toe with a few of them, are builders. Builders never want to give you a fixed price on anything because they'll tell you it's not in your interest to get a fixed price because they might actually be able to build it cheaper and they'll save you money, believe it or not. The number of times I hear this is incredible. It's absolute rubbish. We all need to know what our costs are at day one when we're building or doing renovation work so we can lock in our profit. They don't want you to give a firm quote because at a later date they're going to hammer you for more and more money as the price goes up. And at a later time, and another lesson, I'll show you an actual example of how I got caught out and I ended up spending £20,000, which was in effect 20% more on a new build because I got had in effect. But there you go, you live and you learn. Other developers. Frequently I get a phone call from other developers saying they got excess stock and they're fully committed and they can't do the development. Would I be interested? What this usually means is the development they're trying to sell on has problems and they can't make enough money out of completing it. So they're going to flip it on and make a profit. This flipping is actually not a bad way of making a good living, and some people that's all they do. But you need to be careful because in my experience I would say 8 out of 10 properties I'm offered by other developers have real issues. A wise developer that taught me a lot of what I now know said to me once, the first profit is often the best profit. And what he means by that is, sometimes when you go and get planning for a property, for a new build, you might be better on just selling the land on with the planning rather than having to go through the rigmarole of doing the build yourself and take your percentage profit and move your cash on to the next deal. Homeowners. They can also cause problems. When negotiating with plot owners, they often try and squeeze every penny out of the build, every penny that they can. They've spoken to Bob in the pub, their next door neighbour and mate, or a local estate agent. They don't quite understand that the whole reason you're a developer is you've got to make a profit. You're taking a risk. You're putting together land, planning expertise, how to build a property, and then how to sell it all on, which can take 2 years plus. I very often overcome this by using what I call open book costings, where I'll go along and show them similar projects I've done with real costs and show them where I sometimes get it wrong and the risks I'm taking. I'll then show them GDV, which is your gross development value of what we're going to end up with. I'll prove it with land registry prices and not what the estate agent locally tells me he thinks he can sell it for. What he actually has sold it for is what counts, because that's how we make or lose money. Generally speaking, this negates their objections, although they might try and get some higher offers elsewhere, but at least you've been honest and above board with them from day one. Home buyers. There is a saying, buyers are liars. Most buyers I come across say they're cash buyers when really they're either waiting to sell another property or it's subject to a mortgage or loan. So what you need to do is get proof of their sale by calling the agent selling their house at the earliest possible moment you can, and ask for proof of funds such as a letter from the bank manager or a mortgage offer letter. If they don't provide that to you, they're certainly not cash buyers. In fact, they're just probably not buyers at all. They're door slammers, as we say. I've seen quite a few forged letters as well recently, where it looks like it's an official mortgage offer, but the email or fax has been doctored. So be alert. There are many more tricks of the property trade, but I think I've covered some of the key ones now to help you on your way. Good luck.